Sorry about not actually doing any of the Mario Kart showcases in a long time. I'd like to apologize for that first before I get into it. But I'm gonna split it into several things instead of just like one huge stream, so it should take off some of the strain. Being able to do multiple smaller streams for this would actually be more beneficial, especially for people who may find videos of these on the wiki or something like that. As sifting through about 11 hours or so of content is really not in their best interest. But on with the stream and start. Oh, the battery's dead. That doesn't matter. I have quite a few batteries nearby. Whoa! What's up, Spyro? Or should I say Jasper? There we go. I should probably get my randomizer script going. You see, that was PowerShell. I think maybe under 3 hours. That's the goal I'm shooting for, since I want to make sure that I can actually make much shorter ones, much shorter streams, because I can't be bothered to do anything much longer. It's a total of 5 segments, but the first one's actually a pretty huge one, so that should handle about a good chunk of it. Oh, that's pretty cool. Two Men of Ghost Town. I'd look forward to it, but I'd want to finish off this stream ASAP and make sure that I could actually show off some of these nicer tracks and not get, say, another Puerto's bathroom incident. Yeah, I think Beggar Soldier and a pipe demo will work perfectly, especially with the pipe demo being able to clean up some of these bots a little more easily. Which grenade launcher are you gonna use? Just stock demo. That works. Yeah, Puerto's bathroom's basically the, let's just say it's the minimum standard. The bare minimum of what you can actually call a track. Alright, so... First up, we've got Windy Whirl version 1.1.4 by Systems. Let me see. Oh, right, it was here. And if I'm done quickly enough, I could probably just try and see if I can play some Steel Trap. Just so I could have some bragging rights. MIP maps are quite nice on this track. Kind of reminds me of Retro Raceway before they decided to fix that up. Because it was like way too shiny. Nope, not gonna make it. Not fast enough. Oh! God damn it. Come on. Oh god. There we go, that's the first track. And it looks like we'll be going into Ant mode once again with Green Ant Circuit version 1.1 by Flugel. Well, at least it's only that track this time because going through almost all of them, a few of which actually froze, was quite a painful It was quite painful to go through. Just because you're very tiny. And your chances of actually running into an item box are incredibly low. Also with that beautiful mini map. This one's actually pretty short. That's good. It seems like it actually got faster, so that's kind of nice, because before it felt like it was a snail's pace, as the speed was doing 1 lap around that version was the same as going around 3 laps in vanilla Luigi Circuit, so I think it's quite nice to actually have that. If he does it for the others and manages to unfreeze them, unfreeze a few of them, then it could be certainly a lot better. Of course, there's still going to be the whole mini-map issue and all that. But I think it's an improvement that it feels much faster than before. Next up, we've got Lairland version 1.0, the alternative version. This one's been updated by Wheelie. Let's see. Because the updated version is certainly a lot more fun to play on than the original. Which is clear that it was just released as soon as it was made. Damn it. Oh god. No. It really seems like he just did that, because the original didn't really have these post effects. It doesn't really add too much, to be honest. It's just an alternative version, which I suppose he was just aiming for. Whoa. Whoa! Okay, that was my fault. go. Damn it. Looking forward to playing a few from both you, Jasper, and ZPL, which should be coming up not too long. If I learn how to drive on this track. I suppose refining this track would really be in order, just to make it much less jagged. That's the best way to describe it. At least I got a free shock dodge out of that. Ah, damn it. It's like putting so many flat plains on mountains, and that's really just the worst part of it. And I think it's just the overall design of the original track. Refining the original design would actually make it much better if it meant having less of these things. Anyways, next up we've got Faraway Land. It's a remake that ZPL made based on Guilmont's original track. It even has the GBA Shy Guy Beach slot locking with the pirate ship. I keep forgetting that, well, even with this small update, it makes it actually look pretty good. Graphically speaking, even if for some vehicles it's still going to be rather hard to drive on relative to others. Damn. It's a still fairly smooth ride, even with all the bumps and curves. And it looks better now. Mostly because, well, 2011 was a time where 2010, 2011 is generally just a time where you don't get a lot of uh, really good looking tracks. It's because the tool sets were much more limited back then than they are now. And a Puerto's bathroom in 2011 would actually be a little more acceptable. Not too much more, but a little more. Okay, next up we've got Cascade Jungle version 1.1 by JDS. And updated by ZPL. Sorry for the delay there. Now, I'm getting about close to halfway through this first segment, and like I said, it's pretty big. A lot of the other segments have like about 4 tracks or so each. Didn't this track used to be like 1 lap or something? Might have been a little slower as well. Hi VT Ninja. Not too much. Just going through this track, and this one's actually not too bad. gonna have to see if I could get through the secondary path. Good thing that I managed to get the Magic Cruiser out of my little randomizer. And it is up on GitHub now. Of course, it's only in text. Why do I get the feeling that this path in particular is a bit longer than the other? Shit. Yeah, it definitely seems like it's way too long. Like, maybe if it was a little faster in that route, or certain parts were omitted, it would make it a little more even. Otherwise, there's really no point to taking the route on the left. It would be easier to go to the one on the right. Mini-map's still out of sync somewhat. Yeah, that's true. Next track on the list is Hyrule Town by ZPL. This one's the first texture hack in the stream. Well, this one in particular. He's everyone's boy now, because he can actually make stuff that's good.
Luigi time! Yeah! Wow, nice!
I might be wrong on that prediction about it being under 3 hours. It might be around that, but it is certainly far better than making it 11 hours. Because I can't be bothered to do that. And I'm sure that anyone else watching wouldn't want to go through that either. Oh, thank you for the follow, PM me. Oh, that was a bit of a surprise there. It was a bit of dead air, but that doesn't matter. I'm quite focused on this track. Just trying to see its beauty. Don't worry. It just happens. Ooh. Next up on the list, we got two versions of Relic Fortress version 1.1 by ZPL. I'm pretty sure those are like a day and night version. Oh, thank you for the follow, Afofon.
Let's go. Okay.
Oh, thank you for the 100-bit cheer, Spyro or Jasper. It's the first time, so that's kind of nice. Not entirely sure what the bits do because I just got affiliate not too long ago. I was still trying to figure out how to get it all to work. On my to-do list, I should probably think about creating badges and emotes. But since I don't really use my webcam all that much for videos, unlike some streamers that I normally follow, and a few that I subscribe to, you're not gonna get like any sort of emotes regarding my face or anything. Though I have shown it a couple times on YouTube. It's just not something I'm really wanting to show off. And though an emote in mind I'm thinking is probably gonna be like Toad. The Toad with that face from the video where he's screaming for 2 minutes. That one's basically Gmod one, but a still image, but I think it's funny. Just because I reference Toad so much. But it's not just Mario Kart related stuff that I do quite often, as you could see. There's a lot of the Man vs. Machine related stuff, so it's going to be some emotes from that side as well, if I do that. Indeed. Who doesn't like slaying robots? Especially for loot. I'm pretty sure that all of you who are on, I think it's the top 100 of the decade at Discord know that, from the news post, that about a month ago I got a golden pan, a virtual melee weapon that costs about 3,000 US dollars. I was actually very excited to get that. It's one of the best things that I have in my backpack now. And now that whenever I go into casual, some people just focus in on me just to grab that pan. Eh. I'm hoping to get another one, but the likelihood of that happening is really low. Yeah. Ah, you're referring to the gas passer, aren't you? Like, I think that thing is pretty broken, in my opinion. Though it's probably nowhere near as broken as the Scottish Resistance. The Scottish Resistance is just such a purely broken weapon. There's literally no downsides to it when you play in that game in MVM, considering the predictable nature of bot spawns. Like, I could see it being more of a problem in, say, Expert, Steel Trap, or Oil Spill, where the giant spawn bots are a little more unpredictable. In Two Cities and Mecha, it's just so predictable that all you have to do is place it down in a general area and then detonate them. It's pretty brain dead. Oh, right, and next up we've got the next Relic Fortress. It's guessing it's a night version, since that's always a classic. Okay, Yoshi. Yes. Most of the best weapons like Brass Beast, Scottish Resistance, Gas Passer are only viable in MVM. I think the beggars you can kind of get away with in casual, but you really can't be sniping with it considering the projectile deviation. But if you happen to get within a close proximity to a crowd and you have Kritzkrieg and you have a beggars going, you could pretty much clear out half the crowd if they're not paying attention, which is kind of nice. Though it does give you alternative means of actually rocket jumping. Not just through overload jumping, pogo jumping, and wall jumping, and standard C-tapping, but there's just so many ways to play the Beggar's Bazooka. But you're gonna run out of ammo very quickly if you're not careful. The airstrike's not too bad either, though you won't see it very often in casual in comparison. Just because if you're in the air, you're essentially a sitting duck, especially if you pair it with the base jumper, because then you become sniper food. MVM can be quite fun. You just gotta be careful of the of some players, because they happen to be high maintenance or they love to micromanage you. And it's even worse when they're just parroting the so-called meta. When the meta is constantly shifting, as demonstrated through, well, some of those speedruns. I just know that a clear MVM staple is just going to be the Scottish Resistance, simply because it's far too effective. 14 stickies, you can detonate them all individually based on where you point the mouse. And since they do about the same base damage as the stickies, the sticky bomb launcher, you could basically have 14 fully boosted crit stickies. And that's enough to take out a giant heavy with about 5,000 health. And you only need about 11 to take care of the giant medics. The beauty of actually being able to play a lot of the custom missions, like say on the potato.tf, is that you'll run into these vaccinator medics which can actually counter it. Yeah, it does look like it's way too high for the water levels. I do like the Groudon and the Tyranitar though. I actually have a perfect T-Tar in Pokemon Go. And it's also a purified one, so it takes less candies to level it up. Orange 3X? What do you mean? Do you just mean like the map? The basic map that people usually like to snipe or rocket jump on? I think it's alright. I haven't played there in a long time. The last time I played was when I was basically doing some sort of silly sniping contest with my friends. And then we decided to do some different class combos to the point where it's like, I think melee heavies at that point, which was fun. But I do remember that there's a lot of exploits on that map because it's so simple, to the point where you can easily spawn camp them. That is quite fun. Of course, if only I can actually aim with the pistol. Because about half of my shots I actually miss, and then I compare it to Banny, who almost never misses with that fucking pistol. Next up, we've got Sky High. No, wait, it's actually Tiny Wave version 3 by Veremi. You mean like Sandman and the Rap Assassin? Those are always fun to try and snipe people with. You can actually stun lock giant robots in MVM if you're far enough away with the Sandman. In fact, that's actually used sometimes pretty often. Should probably see if I could get Orange to do it again, just for my own amusement. Let me see. Wrong character. Right. All this Team Fortress 2 talk makes me really wish that some of the original tracks in Mario Kart Wii and even some of the custom tracks were in MVM, were Man vs. Machine, just to see like all these robots you're trying to snipe on these quite beautiful islands or volcanoes, fighting robots in a volcano. That would be fun. This is the one with the evolutions, isn't it? I'll make sure to spot the Vaporeon. There he is. Now I will say he, because 87.5%, I believe, are males. That's the rough number, or the theorized number. Your reality is probably closer to about 86. But it's still a higher number of males over females. Just like with the starters and the Lucario family line. Flareon! Well, I think there's been a few concepts of payload with MVM where you're fighting robots in waves to actually push the cart. But I've only ever seen it on SigSev's server. It's still an interesting concept nonetheless, since the base game for Man vs. Machine is Capture the Flag. Umbreon. Is the Umbreoth though? Or even better, porting the vanilla MVM maps into Mario Kart Wii, though it's going to be a lot of optimization given that you'd be porting from a PC game where there's going to be a lot more polygons and faces and more trigonometry than, say, in a Wii game. That's true. Big Rock would probably be like the best concept for that though, given how much more linear the map is in comparison to the others. Except Manhattan, of course, but Manhattan also has a lot of sharp turns. On an emulator, I'm playing on my Wii U, but I do have like several emulators. There's even like BizHawk, which most people do play on now. And there's also Libretro. At least for a lot of the older stuff. I know that plenty of randomizers could be played on that, on both of them, or on an actual Nintendo 64. Of course, you need something like an EverDrive to run it, or the Wii Virtual Console. Next up, we've got Veremi Circle Arena by Veremi. The first battle track out there in the stream. It's probably going to be the only one, but that is fine. I think with a lot of the MVM maps, many of them are way too big for a battle arena, with the exception of Manworks. Manworks is probably going to be the best for a battle arena. That and Decoy. Whereas the other ones are going to, I would think, would be more like Mount Wario. That would be pretty neat to get any of the 6 maps into the CTGP. Especially if we could put in like the robot scouts holding the bats, given that I see them almost every single mission. They're kind of hard to miss. I almost hit that. Shoot. This arena's far too big for its own good, that's for sure. And Super Smash Bros. Melee is still one of the best Smash Bros. Games out there. I think it basically competes with Ultimate for the best Smash Bros. Game. I did like Brawl, but the mechanics are definitely much slower and much more favorable to Meta Knight. Because he's truly the meta. What kind of character would ever be able to counter Meta Knight in Brawl when he basically has close to infinite jumps and his gliding ability breaks him? Oh, I didn't know that was out of bounds. Well, of course, when I'm referring to like melee scouts, I just mean like the scouts with their bats, and they all try and swarm you with their bats. It's kind of funny when looking back on it, but they're especially devastating when you're just trying to low man, because they're just everywhere and you just want them dead. It's kind of like the melee heavies as well, where they try and punch you to death. I think Manworks would be a far better concept for a battle mission. Well, a battle arena. Especially if you could just shove in the Pyros as one of the enemies. Yeah, the stage itself is a little too big and not exciting enough. Next up, we've got Keegs Road by Joshua MK, and that's the last one of this segment before I move on to the next one. Let me see. Oh, it looks good. Kind of like the way it looks. Kind of looks a bit twisty though. So the vehicle combination that I had picked out from the random is probably going to be well will work counter to this track, considering a lot of tracks are usually built for the inward drifting bikes because it's the meta. Paired that up with the a lot of tracks have those kinds of ramps now, given that they look pretty similar to Mario Kart 8, so people try and make it look a little more up to date. They definitely look really nice though. Yeah, I think Mario Kart Tour does look much nicer, but the gameplay for it is much more rudimentary than any other Mario Kart game I've played, where all you really have to do is tap tap because, well, that's all you really do with the mobile games is just tap tap. Tap and swipe, actually. I think it's, yeah, you swipe for like drifting and or something like that, but it's mostly just automatically drives for you and you don't need to accelerate or anything. It still has like the rocket start, which is kind of nice. But there isn't a whole lot of new tracks added to it. It's mostly like New Donk City or something like that. Or New York City or whatever it is. Before I swap out to the next segment, I might as well switch out the Mii. This will do. Basically 1 hour in and finished the first segment, which is probably going to be the biggest one out there. Because every other one is like about 4. Let's see. Righto. Yeah, that should be it. I suppose, though, it's really just using an FTP server on the Wii U, and the client I have is on my PC. I think it's much more convenient than, say, taking out the SD card every single time I want to put in a track or something and putting it back in. And since I'm not port forwarding it out to anything on my network, it just means that it's gonna be it's only gonna be available within my own private network. Kind of convenient. This is actually how I've had my system set up for about, I think, 3 or 4 years. And the Wii U doesn't really have too much input lag for when I'm trying to play stuff on the Wii, so it's kind of convenient. It used to be much more noticeable when I tried to go from composite to like one of those flat screen TVs that usually has HDMI on it. Where I feel behind by about 30 frames. This segment should be relatively short. For this next track, we've got Space Raceway by 9paran. Even though it's supposed to be for N64 Mario Raceway, it's supposed to run on Rainbow Road just because of the sound effects for the road. I think both graphical and sound effects would only work with this slot. Ah! Ah, I just got pushed. Let's see if I get something good. Not bad. This is definitely a different way of playing Mario Raceway, that's for sure. I wonder if this is going to be done with more tracks. Alright. We've got... For our next track, we will be playing on Galvarni Falls, version 1.5.3 by Bowlets and WeMaster 3500 VR. 35,000 VR, I mean, excuse me. You see.
It's me, Wario. I'm gonna win.
Oh, damn it. Damn. And I pushed baby Luigi off. Wait, did the bridge part get darker? Much darker? Oh, thank you for the host, Kanto. How's it going? Whoa. Excuse my horrible gameplay. I actually really like Super Mario Odyssey. I think it's a little excessive, the amount of moons they put in the game, but I kind of like the actually being able to play it that way. With the whole using Cappy not only as a means to get all sorts of different power-ups essentially, but and playstyles, but as a way to actually use him as sort of a bouncing platform. And a way of getting free items. The Galaxy games were actually pretty fun to play, though the Super Mario Odyssey's concept where you essentially manifest the creatures that or objects that you capture. Yes, Cappy is always fun to use. Though there are definitely a lot of insane tricks, and some of them have been patched, like in the Luncheon Kingdom. Because you can get to the bird pretty early. Oh yeah, definitely. You don't take any fall damage either, which is something that normally happens in most Mario games. Sure, you get stun locked for a bit, but you do not take any damage, and well, if you fall or you take too much damage, you lose coins. And since you can just farm coins pretty easily, you basically never have to worry about a game over screen. At least later in the game. Next up, we've got Neon Mine World by Dark. Yeah, it definitely encourages you to be really fast, and having that kind of movement's always nice. There's also that I still remember that glitch with the skip rope where you basically get infinite jumps. Not really infinite jumps, but you basically can max out the score. And given how hard it is to get like the moon for the, I think getting 100 or so, it could be quite annoying. Same with the volleyball one. It's also pretty fun that you actually get to fight a dragon, a literal dragon, that's so much larger than Mario. And the only way you defeat him is basically getting on top of his head and hitting the golden pins on him. Kind of reminds me of that level in Earthbound. This texture hack being inspired by, I think it was one of Karen's tracks. Whoa. Oh, I should have picked up the star. Whatever. But I could think of the perfect music for this right now. Next up, we've got Sunset Gorge by Reichi. Then I'll be moving on to the next segment out of 5. So it'd be like the third segment. Oh, there you are, Yoshi, you little rascal. There we go. That clears up that segment. It shouldn't be too much longer. Ooh. It's just under an hour and a half so far. And since the first segment had like 12 tracks, that takes about a huge portion of it, really. Because the last segment's just one track. Alright. Back to the browser we go. And as always, these will be up on YouTube. Probably do the 3-lap version on this segment first. Since I always prefer the 2-lap version anyways. Should be ready. Oh shit, wrong one. Ah, I made a mistake. Okay. The home button works for that. I should be back up in about a few minutes. I'm getting closer to that 90-minute mark, yo. Let's do this. The first track of this segment is Rainbow Track 1 by Retro Style 12. It's actually been a while since he's made something. I just hope he put a little bit more effort into it. Because he seemed to have just pushed them out as quickly as possible. Looking forward to seeing how it looks though. Alright. Oh my god. Did I just see a Lugia? Yes, I did. I saw a Lugia. There it was. And just at the 90-minute mark. There you are. It seems to be as generic as before. But at least it's not like Bullzeeps, which is basically the majority of the difficulty is with the items, with the obstacles, which are basically planted everywhere to hinder any sort of movement. With very tight turns. Don't have any commands set up yet. You probably wouldn't want to set up song request anyways, given how selective some people can be with song request. Next up, we've got Lava Road version 3.1. This is the one by Renegade Sierra. Let me see. Could probably set up like a friend code command or something like that, or Steam. Whoa. Ah! This is kind of my bad there. Now that I know that Sierra's version actually has more visual cues on where the geysers are going to appear. It's clearly not the case with the older versions. It's much more visible, that's for sure. shit. That's my bad. Yeah, I think like the red version's a bit more difficult to see. Blue version's nice. Green version's not too bad. Kind of like the yellow version and pink version. I think it's the pink version. I know there's a purple version. But it certainly looks much nicer than the other versions that predated it. Next up, we've got Crate Factory by Jay Mersey. Looking forward to seeing how that one plays out. I knew it'd be off-road, but it doesn't seem to be too bad. Ah, there we go. Alright, next up we've got the 3-lap version of Mushroom Mountain version 1.03 by Ferv. We'll also be doing the 2-lap version, but in the next segment. Certainly past the 100-minute mark, but we're more than halfway through. So it might be under 3 hours, who knows? Oh shit. Nope. I thought I would get away with that, but no, I didn't. Nope. Seems that there's been more pan drops lately this year than there had been last year. Like, we already have 10 of them within the span of 2 months. Close to about 2.5, actually. Ain't that nice? Might even expect to see a couple more this month, given that there's a lot more low tours playing. Kind of makes it a little more interesting. As long as they don't get stuck on Manslaughter Wave 3 for like 3 hours. And then you have to go bail them out as a gas ape, as they like to call it. Or a sniper, that one works too. And you're basically telling the engineers to put the gun on the bomb. It feels like a mantra at that point, like saying gun on the bomb, to the point where I've done literally just that because I saw someone do that for a screenshot and use that for a guide, which I thought was pretty funny. Damn it. Oh, just barely. God damn it. Ain't that useful? Next up, we've got the fourth segment, and that should contain the 2-lap version of this track. Looking forward to it. That's 7 tracks for this segment. I should be able to add them in pretty quickly. I'm gonna put the fun version over. Normal version. The rain version. In the Rain Fun version. Alright, I believe that is it. Right, check the 2-lap version and right. Just under the 2-hour mark, and we're on the 4th segment. Well over halfway. I'd say closer to 2/3 of the way. We're gonna go to Mushroom Mountain, and this is the 2-lap version by Ferv. Righto. Right here. There we go. That's much shorter. It's always just better to stick with the two-lap versions of these longer tracks. Damn it! Whatever. There we go. Next up, we've basically got 4 versions of the same track, but we'll do them all individually. First up, we've got the normal version of Tsukuba Circuit by Lamb. All version 1.1. This is the perfect vehicle for this kind of track, aside from the go-karts, the standard karts. Damn it. Whatever. Can do this. Well, it's a good thing that this track is relatively short. There's also the fun version, which I think has more ramps in it. And I think that's just about it. There's no traffic cones in this one, which means it can run outside of Daisy Circuit or DS Desert Hills. Also, we've hit the 2-hour mark. And I'll have to remember to do another stream on this later in the week or something. Just because I have to catch up so badly. And it's kind of my own fault for slacking off. Next up, we've got the fun version of Tsukuba Circuit. Dodged a blue shell. That's nice. Guess I was fast enough to do that. Achoo! Oh my god. And the next track is basically the rainy version. Not the rainy fun version, but the rainy version. So let's see how it looks. Basically medium weights for Tsukuba Circuit, huh? Kind of looks good, to be honest. I kind of like it. The road's nice and shiny. Must be related to the mid maps. Ooh. Ah. Oh, right. I'm an idiot. I already pressed the enter key for that. Next up, we've got the rainy fun version of Tsukuba Circuit, which should complete the tetralogy. My English is bad today.
Yes, Peach. Let's go.
Just 2 more tracks in this segment after I finish this one. Right. I'll just not type on the keyboard right now. Don't want to make a big mistake like last time. Next up, we've got Sky Heaven RC2. This one originally by JR Colonial 98 and updated by Oh OK.
Okay.
My goodness, there's so much dead air, and I think I'm pretty much to blame for that. Alright. But we're pretty close to completion at this point. Really just 3 tracks remaining. Kind of astounded that I've even gotten this far, but there's still plenty more to go. It's just that I want to make this stream relatively short. And I'd say under 3 hours is quite short. Especially if you're covering like a week's content. Damn it. Shit. There we go. Next up we've got Rainbow Dream RC2 by Reedy94, Alpha Mario X, which is me, and updated by Oh OK. That's going to be the last track of this, the second last segment, because we still have one more segment left and it only has one track. Oh yes, and March 21st. I'm looking forward to that day. I should probably stream then as well. Because that'll be my 10-year anniversary. But it's still February, so plenty of stuff can happen during this time. Whoa! Damn it. There we go. And now for the last track, which should send me back to the Wii U menu. Whoops. Wrong track. Wrong move on my end. I was not paying attention. Getting close to the end anyways.
Luigi time. Let's go.
I should stop dozing off. Okay. Last one is Rainbow Mountain RC2 by Red Flame and updated by OK. This kind of looks like how I remember it when I last played. Now I think about it, when I actually did play it, recording it, I was definitely tilted by the way the track played, which was rather annoying. Ah, damn it! There's definitely a lot of improvements made here, mostly in the KCL, which really matters. Whoa! Of course, the original design of this track is still god awful. That's the best way to put it. No, 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 no! Oh my god! I was so scared. I'd like to see remakes for these tracks, to be honest. It would be interesting. Ooh. Shit. Oh my god! It's certainly a lot bouncier than before. And it's 2 laps, so perfect. We've hit the 2 minute and 2.5 hour mark. These sharp turns are just the worst, especially with these ramps in the way. It's, oh my god, these are the worst turns. Like, do you seriously expect people to actually turn sharply with these vehicles? Yeah, I think this was one of the reasons why I had such an issue with this track. Oh, you've got to be kidding me with that red shell. Oh my god. It wasn't even like 10 seconds that the last blue shell, the one I threw, came. What? You've got to be kidding me. This track is such bullshit. No! Oh my god. This track is still bad. Even if there has been improvements to it. It's just really bad just because the way it's designed is so poor. Fuck off! Come on! Is that the item you're seriously gonna give me in second place? Oh! Whatever. This track's just just the way it's designed. It really needs an update, like a graphical, like make it much better in terms of the actual model. But then again, that was made in Paint like years ago. But I'm glad we got through all of that. Thank you for watching, if any of you are still sticking around, and I will see you all next time. Hopefully with more Mario Kart footage, because I really need to catch up on it. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.